Let's go, girls. Come on.
From New York City to Los Angeles, Powered Up with Beck and Franklin is giving women of all ages permission to live the life they've always dreamed of. Why live in black and white when you can choose the brilliance of 3D and Technicolor? Each week, Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin and their high-powered guests will be here to cheer you on, to share their challenges, their successes, and what they've learned along the way. It's all about women supporting women. The stories and practical tips on sex, beauty, money, and so much more are designed to help you reconnect to the powerful woman you are. Fabulous knows no limits. Now it's time for you to expand your boundaries. Here are Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin.
Hey ladies, this is Sandra Beck and I am here today with Jackie Silver. She is filling in for Linda Franklin, who is still under the weather, so we want to send well wishes out to Linda Franklin. And our guest today is Sandi McKenna of the Midlife Crisis. I call it the Midlife Crisis Road Trip, but I want to talk about midlife crises because they're just so much fun, Jackie. I mean, it's that time of year, it's that time of life, and I think people are goofy. I know I went goofy, when I started entering midlife. And to me, entering midlife is anywhere from 35 to 50. You take your pick.
Well, I know that, usually everybody has a really funny, sad, or heartwarming story by the time they're 35. So you go first.
Okay. Well, I decided, when I was approaching my midlife crisis, that I was going to take this personal physical inventory of every part of my body that I didn't like from head to toe. And one of the things that has frustrated me over the years is my eyebrows, because I am naturally blonde. And if I don't put eye makeup on or eyebrow makeup on, I look like Opie, from the Andy Griffith show, and I have no expression. So I was like, you know what? I've heard about dyeing. I didn't go tattooing, but I thought I'm going to go to this really fancy, great eyebrow, famous salon. I'm not going to name it because they'll sue me. I came out looking like a Muppet. I looked like Bert and Ernie's little blonde cousin with the big, thick black eyebrows. It was like Brooke Shields blew up on my face. And I thought I looked great for about, a month, until I looked back at pictures, and then I just thought, oh my God, it's not Here Comes San, it's Here Comes Her Eyebrows.
Okay, but I love Muppets, so you probably looked really, really cute.
Well, I don't know. If you think caterpillars crawling across your face are cute, sure, go for it.
Funny. Okay, I have one.
Okay.
So I decided in my midlife crisis that I was going to go get a spray tan. They were just brand new back then, and I'm pale as a ghost. And, they say pale and interesting, but I decided I wanted to be a little more colorful tan. So I go to the spray tan booth, and they made you watch a little video, the 16-year-old that was running the whole place. And so I watched this video, and on it, they say they give you nose plugs. And I'm thinking, what a great idea, because I don't like smells, strong smells. So I go to the 16-year-old, hey, what about the nose plugs? She goes, oh, you don't need those. And I go, well, do you have a towel or anything to cover my nose? She goes, no, but I have this plastic shower cap. Okay, note to self, yes. My mother did teach me never to put plastic over my nose. But I said, okay, well, I'll take it for emergency. I go in the spray tan booth, the jets start, the door malfunctions and locks me in. I can't breathe. I'm inhaling this chemical. And the last resort is I take the plastic baggie, the plastic shower cap. I hold it up to my face. And as I'm trying to breathe, more and more it's getting stuck to my nose. I end up holding my breath. Finally, the door unlocks and opens, and I fall out gasping for air.
How'd you look, though?
You know what? I don't even remember. It was so traumatizing.
I'm like, the things we do for beauty, it's so important, I think. I mean, we don't want to tan the inside of our lungs, but
Exactly.
but those booths are scary. I went in there and, I'm probably going to get blasted for this, but I went in there when I was 8 months pregnant because it was summer season and my belly was like so big and white. And I thought, how bad could it be just once? And I went in there and I got so many dirty looks from the tanning salon. Terrible, terrible. But you know what? I look good.
Did you get the spray or did you do the tanning bed?
No, I never did the bed because I'm really white. You could like, set off a nuclear bomb blast in the backyard and I wouldn't do anything but blister. I have no pigment, so I have to spray it on. It's like if I don't coat it on, spray it on, ink it on, it's just not happening. I'm melanin deficient or something. I don't know.
Well, it's just funny the things we do. I bet if we told all of our listeners, we could get a whole book full of stories.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure because surveys say that that some of the typical midlife crises for men last between 3 and 10 years, and women, and this is a study that was done in the UK, and I would imagine it's the same over here. We only go into midlife crisis for 2 to 5 years.
Hmm.
But you know what some of the signs are, and I want to ask you, I'm going to give you the pop quiz to see if you had a midlife crisis.
Uh-oh.
Okay, sign number 1. Did you look up your ex-partners on Facebook?
Well, I hate to tell you, but Facebook wasn't invented when I when I was in my midlife crisis.
Oh, sorry, scratch that. I didn't do that. Surprisingly enough, I didn't really want to see the men that I had been with and just like didn't want to be with. I had no interest in that. But I did do the second one, taking vitamin pills. I took so many vitamin pills, and I still do to this day. Do you?
Well, yeah, but I don't feel that that's a midlife crisis. I think that's on the plus side.
Okay, that's on the plus side. What about reading obituaries? I don't read obituaries.
What?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. How about taking up a new hobby, something you never did when you were younger?
Does that include going to the spray tan booth?
If spray tanning is your hobby, Jackie Silver, God bless you.
No, it isn't. But actually, yes, I think I took up yoga at that time.
Huh. I'm trying to think what I took because I'm just starting my midlife crisis. So I'm just using this kind of as my midlife crisis checklist.
Yeah. Well, I'm 10 years ahead of you,
I'm
girl.
going to do it right. The one thing I didn't do that I see a lot of my peers doing, though, is piercing myself, tattooing myself, and for the love of God, what is spandex doing back? A lot of these women could not wear it in their 20s. They should not wear it in their 40s. Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah, because even black spandex in this bright, shiny California sun, not so good.
Well, they can get away with it a little more in New York City because it's so gray here most of the time.
It's true. Yeah, because otherwise it's like a shining beacon of cellulite. You've got these really tight, workout pants, and some of these moms can pull it off, but the majority of them can't. And I'm a big proponent of the rear view mirror. I always take my mirror and I look at the back and I look at the front, because you can look rocking from the front and looking just not so good from the back. And I'm just being shallow today. It's it's shallow Tuesday.
Shallow Tuesday.
Yeah. We'll have deep thinking and caring Thursday, but right now it's shallow. So I tell you, I have gotten more conscious of my looks as I've gotten older. I mean, I don't know if everybody does that. Did you find that to be true with you?
Wait a minute. Is that like a sign of insecurity? I don't know.
Oh, hell yeah, of course. Insecurity, check number 1.
Yeah, but guess what? The good news is that as you get older, because you remember I'm 10 years ahead of you, as you get older, then you get less interested in, you still want to look good and young, but you really like to work on the inside.
Okay, I'll trust you on that one because I'm still shallowly working on the outside. Yeah, well, I was experimenting with lipsticks too lately. I was not a big lipstick person because I work on the computer, and a lot of times I like I don't know. I smear everything all over my face. My forehead hair stands up straight. I get pen and ink marks on my cheek. But lately I've been trying on new lipsticks, and that's a big thing for me because I'm your typical California girl who does a little spray tan and then just runs around naked.
Hopefully just inside, right?
Yeah. Yeah, people are like, put spandex on, put anything on at that point.
I love lipstick. I'm a total lipstick girl. I like actually lip gloss more than I like lipstick covered with gloss. I think the extra gloss makes it look a little younger.
Okay, so your take on lipsticks, what about light or dark? I mean, is it just the people's complexion? I know sometimes I see in the magazines everybody's wearing dark lipstick. I tend to look like Casper with lipstick on, so I don't do that. But do you think we should lighten up our lipstick as we go older or go darker?
Absolutely lighter. And also, during the day, it's always good to wear lighter lip color. But, at night, you can go more glamorous, whether it's going to be that Angelina Jolie red or, something maybe on a little more on the wine color side, if that's what you like. But during the day, a nice light, something pinkish or nude colored with a gloss over it is always young and fresh.
That's it. I love that because I want to look fresh. I don't want to look like day-old bread after 40. I mean, it's important that we have these things. Do you want your lips to be the brightest part of your face, or do you want them to blend in?
Well, for me, I like to accent my eyes because people always tell me that's my best feature on my face. So I think that people should accent what their best feature is. So if your lips are your best feature, then go for that Angelina Jolie red.
All right. So if I have like a big clown nose, I could put that on it because I have a very cute nose and just walk around with my big red clown nose. Look how cute my nose is.
That's going back to your Muppet theme.
That is. Let's see how many things Sandra can stick to her face today. Oh, Jackie, I got to take us to commercial break. This is Powered Up Talk Radio, and my co-host today is Jackie Silver, and she is filling in for Linda Franklin, who is under the weather today. And we are going to come back from the break with Sandi McKenna, and I promise you, you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to laugh your ass off, and you're just going to enjoy this guest like nobody's business. And if not, Jackie and I will be here, so how could you tune us off?
We've got lots more Powered Up with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin after these messages.
Do holidays and celebrations get you down and leave you feeling frazzled? Then join Sandy Fowler and her guests on Heart-Filled Holidays every Monday at noon, 11 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Sandy will help you discover the secrets to having the celebrations you've always dreamed of while adding fun and meaning to your life. From Valentine's Day to Christmas to special family events, Sandy Fowler will show you how to put the fun and meaning back into those special days by taking a look at what we can do to turn the upcoming holidays into cherished memories and show us how to allow it to intertwine with everyday life. For more on the show, Sandy, and to receive Sandy's Holiday Happiness booklet, go to heartfilledholidays.com. Then get set to discover the secrets to creating happy holidays and happy everydays by joining Sandy Fowler and her guests on Heart-Filled Holidays every Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time on TogiNet.com.
Have you ever wondered why America is facing such a healthcare crisis? Then join us for Dr. Peter DeVette Live every weekday at 1 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com. He'll answer your health care and medical questions and share with you his knowledge and opinions on topics ranging from holistic health care to spirituality and wellness. You'll find out about the roots of your health care challenges versus symptom management, the holistic approach, how the spirit, mind, and body connection is critical in both the development of illness and the solution to illness, how emotions are directly related to physical illness, and how to read your body like a book. Dr. DeVette will also go through your personal questions and how you can navigate through the illness maze. Supplements, medications, therapies, treatment options, surgeries, all kinds of things related to your health. Dr. Peter DeVent Live. Every weekday at 1 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
We're back with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin. Here's more Powered Up with Beck and Franklin. Hey, ladies, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Jackie Silver, who's filling in for Linda Franklin, and this is Powered Up Talk Radio. And our guest is Sandi McKenna, and she has such a really cool gig going on, Jackie, don't you think?
Oh, totally. And, I got to come clean and tell you and our listeners that I've been friends in real life with Sandi for about the last 17 years. So I can totally vouch for what a great person she is.
Oh, so this is the nepotism show. This is Powered Up Nepotism show.
Hey, we all like to help our friends, and she's so worth coming on. You'll see.
Well, and there's nothing better than girlfriends. I will tell you, when you make really solid girlfriends and you connect on that soul level and that friendship level and that trust level, there is nothing better in the world.
Totally.
So should we bring Sandi on? You're gonna get so confused because there's Sandra and there's Sandi. I don't know if Jackie Silver can handle it.
Oh, I think I can keep track.
Oh, Sandi, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Sandra. How are you?
Great.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to go first, Jackie. I'm going to ask Sandi to tell our listeners just the fabulously cool thing that she's been doing because it's really neat.
For the past 5 years, we have been traveling around the world. Actually trying to, we call it therapy for a midlife crisis.
That's so awesome.
So everybody, it was my business partner, Rick Griffin, and we started this about 5 years ago, almost 6, and it started as simply as a conversation on Twitter. That's how we met. He lives up in Atlanta. And he had a life-threatening illness, and he was going through somewhat of a midlife crisis, and he had an idea for a midlife road trip. And we sat down, we talked about it, we kind of fleshed it out, and that's how it started. I mean, it was simply about just dreaming up an idea and executing it. And we've been around the world since we started.
It's so amazing because I've watched you from the beginning with this, and it's what you've done is just so incredible. Can you tell the listeners kind of a little bit how it feels to sort of reinvent yourself at a certain age? Because really that's what you've done.
Yeah, for me it was, and I don't know if either of you have ever been fired from a job, but I was. And so you're fired from a job, and you're like, okay, now what? And it was from nothing I did. It was just a bad circumstance. And so now you look at yourself, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Where do I go? What's going to happen? And so it was, Jackie dragged me on Twitter, kicking and screaming. And I'm like, Twitter thing is so stupid. I am not doing Twitter.
She did.
And she said, please just stick it out a week. You will love it once you get it, you'll get it and you'll love it. And once I got it, it truly, I've got to say, Rick and I have worked really, really hard, but once I got it, Twitter accelerates everything. It makes things go faster. And so at a time that was really horrible for me, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, I met so many interesting and like-minded people on social media. And that changed. That's how I reinvented myself.
Now, that's really cool, Sandi, because, and I'm just going to say this delicately, you're not like a 20-something bopping around going, ooh, I'm going to go on Twitter. You're actually a successful, sophisticated, sexy, foxy woman that made this decision. Okay, I don't laugh. You can call me foxy, and I'll say thank you.
I think that's a big misnomer about social media. the majority of the people that we meet and the people in our audience are 35 or older. And Twitter is not really about a bunch of kids. At least I don't think it is.
Yeah, and what's so interesting about it is that even when we first got on it, if you recall, Sandy, it always was a little bit of an older. The young kids came after us actually on Twitter, but now it seems like everybody. Actually, I know everyone's on Twitter because recently I searched how many people are on Twitter. 554 million people.
Wow. When we started, the celebrities were there. There were none. I mean,
none.
When I started, my husband said he was worse than me. He's not on Twitter even now, but at the time, he's like, until the NFL and the golf channel got on Twitter, he thought it was nothing. And now everybody's on Twitter. The NFL, every celebrity known to mankind is on, and they're tweeting. So it's a great way to get out there and communicate. And I think when you communicate with others and other like-minded people, it keeps you young. At least it does for me.
Sandy, do you remember that when we first got on Twitter, like we had more followers than the owners of Twitter?
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day.
I'm just still stunned with 550 million because I was Googling while you guys were talking, there's a whole lot of countries with less than 550 million people. That's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What did you find best? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I just love it. And I always thank Jackie for that because if she didn't make me do it.
Well, and for somebody like me who only uses Twitter to get people to listen to the show and I don't interact, I mean, that's in all honesty, what's the great thing about Twitter? Why is it so great?
It's it's how you use it. If you don't interact with anybody, it's nothing because nobody hears you. But when you interact with people and you can have some serious conversations in 140 characters. And the one thing that we say and that we love when we travel is no matter where we go, we're no longer strangers, no matter what country. A recent thing in June, we were in Rome, and we were roaming around the streets. It was Rick and I and two friends of ours. Actually, Rick's daughter was one of them. And so we're in the streets of Rome. We, just wandering around. We had pizza. We were just, now what are we going to do? And we look up, and there is a friend of ours from New York in Rome. So, yeah. But we met her on social media. And hadn't we met her and known her? So we get to Rome, and she's, she lives in Italy part-time, and it was just great. Running into her in the streets, her avatar was accurate, which isn't always the case. You look at somebody, and you're like, oh, my gosh, there's Elise. And so it opens so many doors. No matter where you go, there is always somebody you know.
So, Sandy, what has been your favorite destination or your favorite experience in the 5 years of all the trips you've taken?
Oh, it's really hard to say. It's one of those questions because all of them have had, every trip has something that's unique to it and special to it. Like a couple years ago, I got to go out to Utah and ski for the first time, and I was in my 50s. So wow. That was really incredible. I travel all the time, and I hate to fly, and so we went out to Orange County, and I actually took a flying lesson, and so I learned to get over my fear. So that was something unique. Just a trip to New York, and we were sitting in Central Park, and Sting, who I idolize, was there with his Dalmatian, right in front of me. So Croatia was beautiful. Running into Elise in Rome was fantastic. I mean, every single trip has something that's so amazing to it that I can't just pick one because they're all. Alaska, we were just in Alaska this summer, and it was absolutely amazing. We didn't go to a town or a city for 7 days, and we were just out in the wilderness on a small ship. It was beyond. It exceeded my expectations. And then my most recent trip was to Molokai in Hawaii. and it was like going back in time. And it was just one of the most beautiful, pristine, just fun experiences. And I'm afraid of heights. And in Molokai, they have some of the highest sea cliffs in the entire world. And what we did was we took mules from the top down 3 miles, down these sea cliffs to a leper colony. And then we had to go back up. Excuse me. So
to a leper colony, like as in leprosy?
Yes.
Were they leporetic or whatever? What's the word?
Yeah, there's leprosy? Actually, it was one of the most amazing things to learn about that, and how these people lived. And there are still 40 folks. Leprosy is curable now, but there are still 40 of the original folks that lived in that leper colony down there. So those are the kind of things that I always feel like I am so blessed, because some people save an entire lifetime to do one trip like that, and I get to do them all the time. So to me, it's just amazing. Every day I say how grateful I am.
Well, yeah, especially going to the leper colony. I mean, does leprosy make you thinner?
Well, it was.
Like, is it, what did you like, Jackie is on the chat here with me going, did you soak yourself in bleach after? I mean,
we did not
interact
with anybody. Actually, I'm sure they didn't want to see us. But it's not like in the days when they were contagious. And only 1 to 2% of people have the gene in them that makes them susceptible.
Okay, I got to take us to commercial break. I got to be honest with you, Sandy. I had a vision of you and your partner like in hazmat suits, like trugging down the side on the mules, with these, surgical masks on so nobody gets leprosy. I need to take us to commercial break. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about some embarrassing moments, because I know you've had all these fabulous ones. We want to have the good ones, because those are what make life worth living, is when we have experiences we never meant to have. My name is Sandra Beck. I'm here with Jackie Silver, filling in for Linda Franklin. This is Powered Up Talk Radio. For those of you that missed the first half of the show, check us out on iTunes. Check us out on powereduptalkradio.com. And you can also find us at our host station, TogiNet, TogiNet radio.com. Oh, I can't wait for the embarrassing stories. How about you, Jackie?
Oh, definitely. Best part
of the show. Don't miss it.
We've got lots more Powered Up with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin after these messages.
This is for all you girls about 42. Tossing pennies into the fountain of youth.
Evermore, people have the means to live, but no meaning to live for. These are the words of Dr. Viktor Frankl, the inspiration for the movie Victor and I. That's VIKTOR and I, movie.com. And Talk Sense Radio, The Meaning Connection, with host Mary Simaluka and frequent contributor Alexander Vesley. Friday afternoons at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com. More and more people today are discarding their quest for money, possessions, and things, and are instead beginning a serious quest to find meaning in life. Until now, these discussions were historically in the hands of priests, ministers, and scribes, then to philosophers, psychiatrists, and psychologists. Now, these deep discussions are where they should be, in the hands of individuals, on the air with you. Talk Sense Radio, The Meaning Connection, with your host, Mary Simaluka, and frequent contributor, Alexander Vesley. Friday afternoons at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com. Connect with Juliana and connect with what lies beneath. Friday afternoons at 4, 3 Central on TogiNet.com. Juliana is certified as a life coach who wants people to connect. Connect with what lies beneath, those truths and answers. And through her counseling practice, she has helped others find their personal power and fulfill their dreams. And she wants to do the same for you. Here on Connect with Juliana, through intimate discussions, intriguing subject matters, and the expertise of her guests. For more on Juliana and her show, check out her website, connectwithjuliana.com. Juliana will cover it all. Nothing is off limits. She wants to know what matters to you. Make the connection. Tune into TogiNet to connect with Juliana to find out the facts that could be hidden beneath the surface. Connect with Juliana on TogiNet to make a quality connection in your life. Friday afternoons at 4, 3 Central on TogiNet.com.
We're back with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin. Here's more Powered Up with Beck and Franklin.
This is for all you girls about 42.
Hey, ladies, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Jackie Silver, filling in for Linda Franklin, and this is Powered Up Talk Radio, and we are visiting with Sandi McKenna, and she is a world travel expert. She's got a great gig going. I think it's so fun. I'm going to talk about travel. I'd like to open this segment about travel mishaps, and Jackie, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to share with you the worst travel mishap that I had in recent memory. For my 40th birthday, I decided that I was going to go to Hawaii. That's what started this whole thing, was Sandy talking about her Hawaii trip. And I kid you not, 4 months, I hit the treadmill. I was on the elliptical. I was swimming laps because I was going to wear a thong. I was going to rock it on the beach. And that was my whole thing. And I had this really handsome guy I was going with. So excited. And I put on my little bikini, hot pink. I had done my spray tan, looked so fabulous. I laid down on the hammock. I kid you not. He's going to take a picture of me looking all fine. And I sat on a effing bumblebee. And not only did I sit on it, it stung me right in the right cheek. And it hurt so bad, the lifeguard comes over. He's like, anybody got a credit card? We got to get the sticker out. Couldn't have been more mortifying. Had to take Benadryl, slept through, the rest of the afternoon with this huge, swelling. And it was so unsightly, I had to wear a sarong. I could have killed myself.
I love it. I don't have one as embarrassing as that, but I have a mini funny travel embarrassing story. Back in the day when tickets were made out of paper, and if you lost your ticket, you were just in trouble, there was a time when they wouldn't give you a replacement. You'd have to buy it. So all of a sudden I couldn't find my ticket, and I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Where's my ticket? Where's my ticket? It was under my arm.
Who found it for you?
You know how you stick a paper under your arm for safekeeping?
Oh, hilarious. Oh, Sandy, you got to have some good ones. Come on, global travel. There's got to be a few
I don't
things
think I have
up your
any that
sleeve.
can top that bumblebee, though.
Yeah, that's a true one. God is my honest witness. That's a true story.
That's hilarious. We have mishaps everywhere. Everywhere we go, it's kind of one of those. And Rick's learned to ignore me. We've had some where you go to a hotel. We'll go to a hotel. We happened to be on a trip last summer, a 7,200-mile road trip, and it's late at night. We check into this hotel. It's not the best. It was probably right up there with one of the worst that I've ever stayed at. As Rick would always say, we needed a can of Raid and a crack. The can of Raid and a crack pipe were the amenities in the room. And so I go to bed. I pull back the sheets and I'm like, oh my God, there's hair and there's blood and it's just hideous. And so I'm like, I call Rick up. I'm like, Rick, oh my God, I'm crying. He's like, well, what do you want to do? You want to switch rooms? And we have this running joke. I always get the worst room. Somehow it happens. And he says it's because in his room, he doesn't look. He doesn't care. He just gets in. So we've had quite a few. I think it was in West Palm Beach. I had a dog turd in my room.
Oh, ew.
Yeah. So I'm the one that will always, if it's a broken bed or anything, anything weird with a room, that's what I get. We've been stuck in airports. We had to sleep in the airport in San Antonio, and Rick and I were the only two people in the entire airport except for the sweepers who's sweeping the floors. Just silly stuff like that. I had a similar experience to Jackie. We were down in South Beach, and we were at the Wine and Food Festival, and we had to park the car like 3 miles away. We had to carry gear. It was 100 degrees. My hair was like blonde straw. It was windy. I had sand like packed on my face, and we're walking, and we're like halfway, more than halfway there. We're just about to get there, and I'm like, "Oh my God, Rick, where are the sticks? Where's the tripod? And he's like, "You're carrying them." I was like, I think I had a stroke, somewhere between getting to the beach and the car. So, or I'll lose my phone like 5 times a day, and meanwhile it's always in my purse or always in my hand. I've left things on airplanes. I've left my iPad on the plane, and so there's always some kind of something happening.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know what?
go ahead, Jackie. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say real quick, and then I know you have a funny story to tell, but it reminds me one time my friend was talking to me on the phone, and then she starts going crazy, going, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" I'm like, "You're talking to me on it."
See, I have one good, really fast one. I was traveling one time, and this was for business, with a really, really smart, like NASA rocket scientist, engineer up the wazoo kind of guy who thought I was so stupid, with all my little social media things that I did. And this was a couple years ago, and he was convinced it was ergonomically better to push the rolling luggage, to push the, like the ones that are like a square with a big stick on it.
Yeah.
And I said, to the guy, I'm like, "Jeff, look around, man. Everybody's pulling it. Everybody's pulling it." And he goes, "Well, I'm not going to be like the masses." So what does he do? He flips it around. He starts pushing it in front of him. Kid you not, right in front of Southwest Airlines. The handle hits him right in the privates. He flips over on top of it. I laughed so hard. He did not speak to me. I don't think he's still speaking to me, but that was like the best thing I've ever seen in an airport.
Good one. So Sandy, what do you have any maybe top 3 tips for midlife travelers? Is there anything that's particular to midlife travelers that's different for everybody else, or not, or just maybe some?
Well, I think the number one thing, and I had to learn this early on in the beginning, I was really stressed out all the time. I mean, if a plane was late or everything didn't go according to plan, I mean, I would be having meltdowns. And so I learned rather quickly that you kind of have to roll with the punches. The way that the system is these days with airlines, and there's pretty much, especially coming from Tampa, there are rarely direct flights. So you're going to miss connections. Your flights are going to be delayed. So you have to go with it. Be nice to I'm always nice to the gate agents, because, if you're nice and you're dressed decent, if you're not in your pajamas or your pants aren't hanging down below your butt, and, if you look, somewhat presentable, you may get an upgrade. If they're going to give it to somebody, they're going to give it to somebody who looks halfway decent and has some manners. So, and I know a lot of people who fly a lot. They'll bring, nice chocolates to the gate, to the gate agent and stuff. Believe you me, these gate agents and stuff, they remember this stuff.
Speaking of the agents and the airport scene, Sandy, sorry to interrupt, but I don't know if everyone listening saw this. They're now making announcements, like at the Houston airport, that you can't even make jokes about the system anymore. You know how a lot of people get their snarky self and they start making jokes about the security or the agents? Not allowed anymore.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to staple my lips shut.
You'll be the one escorted out of the airport.
Right away.
And then, and I don't care what anybody says. I am the person who I'm always really prepared. I'm a prepared traveler. That's just the way I go. I have my carry-on is what I use 90% of the time if I'm gone for a week or less. I don't even, I don't check bags, because the one time I did check a bag recently, I think I only checked a bag once this year, except for when I went to Europe. But one time I checked a bag, and of course they lose it. So that's the other thing I say. If you're going for a week or less, don't bother checking a bag. Just bring a carry-on, and if you roll your clothes and everything, it's easy. But I am the only I must glow in the dark, because every single time I go through TSA, I get the full body pat down. I swear. I mean, and I think I was in Alaska, and I mean, I wanted a glass of wine and a cigarette when she was done. I mean, it was the most thorough pat down I have ever had. I mean, it was longer than most sex activities. Honest to God, it was. Rick was over and he's like, "How does this happen to you?" And I don't wear any. I have no belts. I have no jewelry. I have no nothing. But for some reason, I'm very appealing to the pat down people.
You're our TSA sex goddess. That's just who
That's
you are.
That's me. I think my picture's up there. I'm the TSA centerfold.
See, I'm the mom that goes down the aisle with the big diaper bag that smacks people in the head as I go by, and I'm pushing one kid and shoving the other one, going, "Screaming Baby Express, here we come."
Everybody's out of the way.
Yeah, get out of my way.
Did you ever do that? Now, do you get looks if you have little kids? Do you get looks when you're on the plane? When people see you coming down with kids? Oh,
they do. They roll their eyes, and you know what I say to them? I look at them and I do, I've got this like little Swiss Miss face, with my blonde braids that I travel in, and I just look at them and I go, "Don't forget you were a kid once too." And then sometimes I stick my tongue out at them. Because you know what? If they're going to give me the stink face, I'm going to stick my tongue out at them.
Sometimes I'd rather sit next to kids than certain adults. You have a much more enjoyable trip with little kids, and but it's like I am a profiler. I'm telling you, I have I look at people. I'm like, are they going to be spilling over the seat onto me? Are they going to? This one looks like it's going to be a armrest hog, and so I profile all these. Oh my God, this one's carrying a stinky bag of burritos. I don't want them sitting next to me. So as everybody's coming down the aisle, it's like dodged another bullet, and then and it's kind of like you just praying. Oh God, let the middle seat be empty. Don't let anybody sit there. And
you guys, I got to take us to commercial break. I'm loving this. Every time I fly, I don't want to sit next to the fatty, the stinky, the dummy or the fidgeter. So when we come back from the commercial break, we're going to talk more about traveling with Sandi McKenna. My name is Sandra Beck, and my co-host today is Jackie Silver, and we'll be back after the break.
We've got lots more Powered Up with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin after these messages.
Join host Kaylin Amadio for Act Local, Marketing for Small Business. Kaylin helps concerned, confused, and even clueless small business entrepreneurs market simply, safely, and successfully. Join Kaylin for some Monday morning marketing madness that will leave you with more ideas, more understanding, and more knowledge about why and how harnessing the internet gives you the power to bring your business to the next level. Whether you need help with online media, social media, video, or mobile marketing for your local business, this Marketing Black Belt will guide you into the 21st century with easy tips, tricks, and techniques that get your local business seen and heard. Each week, Kaylin will feature a new tip that you can use today, as well as a range of guest experts who are passionate about helping local business owners thrive. Act Local, Marketing for Small Business airs every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Do you feel like when you watch a cooking show or read a food magazine that the recipes are not practical for a busy family? Do you wish you could have a conversation with someone about the best way to get dinner on the table fast after a long day at work? Are you tired of cooking dinner only to have your family turn up their nose at all of your hard work? Do you want to hear more about healthy living and finding more time to find your passion in life? Well, pull up a chair and visit with Heather Tallman, host of Around the Kitchen Sink, Thursday nights at 10 p.m. here on TogiNet Radio. Like many women, finding balance in life and time to take care of yourself is hard to do. Between managing a career and marriage and children and a busy family schedule, it's hard to maintain a sense of self. And Heather shares how she does it. Check out Heather's website, basilmama.com. Join us for food and a whole lot more on Around the Kitchen Sink with your host, Heather Tallman, Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
We're back with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin. Here's more Powered Up with Beck and Franklin.
Hey ladies, this is Sandra Beck and I'm here with Jackie Silver of Aging Backwards. For those of you playing along at home, that's agingbackwards.com. Great site to go to, lots of good tips, owned by my co-host today, Jackie Silver. That's my shameless plug for her because I think what she does is fabulous. I got to ask, Sandy, because you and Rick, your travel partner, your business partner, your partner in crime, you guys are not married. You're married to other people. How do you travel together, like that car road you were talking about, like 72 hours? How do you do it without killing each other? I mean, my God, I don't think I could do it, with the person I was married with, much less not.
Well, I think it's a lot easier going with the person you're not married to, because at the end of the day, we go our separate ways. It's like, so it makes it a lot easier. And my husband will call and he'll ask, how's Rick doing on the trip? And I don't think he really is, concerned that Rick's health. I think he's wondering if Rick's about to jump out the window because I've driven him crazy. Because I'm the more intense of the two of us between Rick. I'm usually the most intense person wherever I am, because, I'm OCD and I'm afraid of everything, and, I'm always panicking about something. So I drive people nuts, and Rick included. So, but we've never had, in the almost 6 years we've been doing this, we've never had a crossword. We get along incredibly well. I think it's because we can go our separate ways, and he wears earplugs. So,
Sandy, is that akin to when you take your sister or your brother's kids and you can give them back at the end of the day?
Pretty much, and so, but we have a professional respect for each other, and I think that it carries over, so it makes it really easy. And the other thing is that we're so passionate about what we do. We love what we do, so we talk about business 90% of the time. We're constantly thinking, how can we do this better, or how can we make this video? And that's what we talk about. So and he knows, my shortcomings, which are, I have to start the day with coffee, not just any coffee, good coffee. And if we don't get my coffee in the morning before we have to start a shoot or whatever it is that we're doing, things get ugly really fast. So that's the one thing, he's learned about me. So no matter where we go, I check out the coffee situation right away.
Speaking of coffee then, what is like the most either unusual or most delicious meal that if it stands out, then it'll be something really amazing that you can remember having, like in the last year of your travels?
Gosh, I can remember so many. Having Alaska crab legs that morning, where they're right out, they just take them right out of the water and they put them on, the chef cooked them and put them right on the table. I mean, that was incredible. Salmon that was just caught and cooked. I mean, that was so, so delicious. I think I'll be thinking about that for a long time. I had some great gelato in Rome. It was just like it had rosemary or a basil or a chocolate wine. I mean, just these incredible combinations.
All right, where I'm going to go with this. Sandy, I'm coming with it because I've eaten the worst things overseas. I ordered blood pudding in Monaco, thought I was going to die. It looked like somebody stabbed themselves on my plate. What's the worst thing you've ever ordered?
I had steak and kidney pie once.
Ew.
And the smell alone I just, and it was not like I was in a restaurant and I could push it to the side. It was some friends, and that was the specialty, some British friends, and that was their specialty, and they cooked it for me.
Which is worse, the dog room, the room with the dog poop in it, or the kidney pie?
The kidney pie was just bad. I you know what I did, because I was so mad at Rick. Not that it was his fault, like that he threw the turd in the room or anything, but I kicked it down the hall. I called him and I'm like, I had a turd in my room, and he's like, oh my God, here we go again. He's like, what do you want me to do with the turd? I said, you don't have to do anything. I kicked it down the hall in front of your room. And he's like, well, why did you do that? I'm like, I don't know.
So, Sandi, getting back to all that good food, like, I think people who are listening who maybe go on a lot of cruises or a lot of, long trips like that, how does someone keep from gaining weight on these trips? I mean, all you do is travel and you look so good. What's the secret?
Have you seen me lately?
I haven't seen you lately. But...
Yeah. We take the stairs. We try to walk wherever we go. If we're in a city where we can walk, we very rarely would ever take any other form of transport. I mean, we'll walk miles just to try to offset some of the food we eat. When we're on a cruise, we try to. If you're going to go back to don't load everything on the plate. Make 10 trips to the buffet instead. You've got that exercise in between. It kind of offsets a little bit. But no matter what you and moderation, hopefully, you try to have some sense of moderation, 2 desserts instead of my usual 3.
Oh, see, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to buzz in right now and go, I have a completely different philosophy. I used to go a lot of cruises with my ex-husband because he was an entertainer. And I had this thing where like 4 weeks prior to my cruise date, I would diet, work out. And then I would go on the cruise with stretchy dresses. I kid you not. One time I ate 2 lobsters and a steak. And the guy that comes over and he's like, are you sure you're going to eat all that? And I said, yeah, I'm going to eat all this. And he's like, you're not going to fit into that dress. I'm like, you're not going to get a tip. But I swear to God, it works. Diet up until the cruise and then just go nuts, because why not? I don't know. That's just me.
Well, that would work if we would go from one, but we go from one trip to another. There's very little time in between to watch what you eat. But we do, when I'm home, I try to, and I work out when I'm home. I go to Pilates, if we call that working out, but you try to, and I don't drink when I'm home.
That's good.
I get
No, I was just going to say that's a really good tip, because people tend to like to drink when they're on vacation or on a trip. What about packing? Like you talked about rolling your clothes. Do you have like one special packing tip that will really like help people when they're trying to take just carry on?
Ziploc bags. I put everything in Ziploc bags, and then I take the air out. Like the Ziploc freezer bags. I love them.
Oh yeah,
because then
I love that. I saw you do that.
Yeah, when the TSA is rifling through your bag, your underwear's not flying all over the place. I mean, it's neatly put in a nice Ziploc bag.
Do they open the Ziploc bags when they rifle?
No, not usually. Not that I've noticed. I mean, I've gotten on occasion. I've had notes put in my, my bag that we went through your bag, but no. And they can be dual purpose.
Back saying, like, did you like what you see?
Yeah.
I wish we could write back those notes.
Yeah, no, I have never written back, but the Ziploc bags come in handy for a lot of things. You can reuse them while you're, when you get to your destination. If you want to, swipe a dessert or something off the buffet, you got a little Ziploc bag to store it in.
Or you could pick up the excrement in your room. That would be a little handy if you have that happen.
Yeah.
You could flip that bag inside out and zip it right up.
There you go. I never thought of that. I just kicked it like a hockey puck.
That's why I'm here.
So do you go to a lot of pet-friendly hotels or motels? Like I think a lot of people it seems like midlifers would like to take their pets. I don't know why I think that.
Apparently so, because I mean, I do. I think we go to, we go to a variety of places. I'll be honest with you. Rick is not near as fussy as I am. I'm a Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, Hyatt, top-end Hyatt kind of gal. I love the Waldorf. I like room service. I like people who remember my name. I like the little goodies that the Four Seasons brings up to the room. I mean, I love that stuff.
Me too.
So essentially, you're telling me you're not an RV kind of gal. Have you ever done the RV thing?
Yes, when I was growing up, my dad, when he turned 40, he had his own midlife crisis, and he retired from his job. He sold his company, and he had a motorhome, and we traveled all over the country in a motorhome.
That sounds kind of fun, actually.
Well, it was, my father was one of those people who believed that if you went somewhere and you experienced it, you would retain the information much better. And he was so right, because I remember a lot of the places I went growing up, some of these, it was absolutely amazing. And, what a blessing. Back then I was like, whining, I want a real life. I want this. And it wasn't like we always stayed in this, and it was a huge motorhome. It was like, like a rock star tour bus, and we had a car towed behind it, and we stayed in hotels half the time. So I really had nothing to complain about, although, I found plenty.
Well, you know what? That's so lucky for you, because, and I'm sure some people listening can relate to my side, which is we had 5 kids in our family, so we really never went anywhere. The parents would go away by themselves and leave us home with the babysitter. So I hope you realize how lucky you are.
I do, and I wished I would have, appreciated it more back then. But I think that's really what gave me my love of travel. But I don't travel with kids, so.
Yeah, I was going to say that
kind
kind of kills the love of travel. Well, Sandy, I want to thank you for being our guest today. Jackie, I want to thank you for being my co-host. The website, if you want to check out Sandy, is midliferoadtrip.com, spelled just like it sounds, midliferoadtrip.com. Next week, we're going to visit with Susan Ziggy, and we're going to leave you wondering whether Linda Franklin will be back, or will it be Jackie Silver? I don't know. I actually really don't know. We're just going to have to find out. I know, getting ziggy with it. All right, here we go. Jackie, your turn.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and either I'll see you next week or I won't.
But check her out, agingbackwards.com.
Thank you.
Shameless plug, shameless plug.
We're so glad you joined us for Powered Up with Beck and Franklin. Sandra Beck, Los Angeles-based single mother and technology company owner, knows what it's like to be fit, funny, and fantastic in your 40s. Linda Franklin, a New Yorker with a successful marriage